So, Diesel 10. You all know him, I know him, I'm friends with him. He's actually pretty chill when he isn't planning mass genocide against steam engine. One of the most important features to Diesel 10's character, in my opinion, is his voice. Despite not really appearing much in the franchise, he shockingly went through quite a bit of voice actors. So, I thought it'd be fun to rank his English-speaking voice actors and see which one's the best. I'll be giving a brief little history lesson with the actors and how they got into the role, and in the end, we'll see who's the best. Quick disclaimer, this video is mainly inspired by ThomasFan261's ranking videos, so go check those out. And yes, this is a remake of a video I did from a year ago, because with this new Magic Road director's cut that Cardi is working on, and finally getting to hear more of Diesel 10 from these earlier cuts, I want to make a new version of this video, because some of the info I said in it doesn't really age well now, so yeah. The voices I'm taking into consideration are the temp voice from Phil Furley, Keith Scott, Benedict Campbell, Neil Crone's Russian voice, Neil Crone's New Jersey voice, Michael Brandon, Michelangelo, Robin Smith, Rupert Degas, and Matt Wilkinson. Alright, enough stalling, let's get into it. Coming into last place is Phil Furley. So, his voice for Diesel 10 is, kinda rough.
Get out of my way! I have unfinished business here! I want to finish it fast!
Phil Furley was the producer of Magic Road and would later become the main producer for The Thomas Show until 2003 when he was replaced with Simon Spencer. Phil filled in as a temp voice for Diesel 10 in Magic Road's work print, and it's not very good. I get that it's a simple temp voice and was never meant to be used in the final film, but I don't care. I'm the one making the video here. The voice more so sounds like an evil Kermit the Frog, if that kind of makes sense, and it's really weird going from Keith Scott's voice to this one.
Just like Twinkletoes' magic railway's going to be over.
Gone like the lost engine, and the buffers that lead to her.
Now, it does sound like Phil had a fun time recording Diesel 10's lines, but it still doesn't sound very good. There isn't really much to say on it other than it just being pretty bad. Yeah, on to the next one. Coming up after Phil Furley is Michelangelo. Now, he doesn't do a bad job necessarily, it's just he sounds really bored, if that makes sense. Like, take a look at this.
Alright, snarl Diesel 10. I'll help.
Like, that doesn't sound like he just snarled, he just said, okay, sure. Even if Calling All Engines doesn't use the homicidal maniac portrayal that Magic Road gave Diesel 10, the special still makes him menacing towards the other engines. I don't see that in Angelus's performance. I mean, it isn't all bad. The growl he makes when Thomas puffs up to him is actually really good.
Excuse me? Thomas puffed nervously. Diesel 10 growled loudly.
And this line here sounds great too.
What do you want? Snapped Diesel 10.
This line actually kind of sounds like Angelus put on a different voice for him because all his other lines sound really different compared to this one. Maybe if Diesel 10 had more than like 5 lines in this special, I would have a different opinion on him, but yeah, this is why Michelangelo is so low. Sucks too, because I love his other voices for the characters.
They're only joking.
Now we're moving on to the voices that I would consider pretty good. Next on the list is Robin Smith. If you don't know who Robin Smith is, he was the voice of the games and the menus on the DVDs. And when Calling All Engines came out, there was a game that you could play on the DVD that tells you to find a specific scrap piece that Diesel 10 would put into Thomas's truck. Despite having a really terrible model that makes me want to fly out my window, Robin Smith does a pretty good job as Diesel 10.
That piece of junk is in that pile. I'll grab some trash and give it to Thomas. Right. I will go to that pile.
His voice is gruff, but it also kind of gives me Michael Brandon Diesel vibes in a way, you know?
No one told me there was another photograph.
There isn't much else I can say on this voice, honestly, because Diesel 10 doesn't really appear much in this game, so I don't really have that many lines to go off of, but with the lines that he does have, I think Robin Smith was good as Diesel 10. Coming up in 7th place is Matt Wilkinson. Matt gave a very different approach to Diesel 10 in a way that wasn't really seen up to this point. Now, in my original video, I say that I don't really like CGI Diesel 10 all that much, but after watching Day of the Diesels for the 700th and 88th time, I've actually kind of warmed up to him. Is he as good as Magic Rat? You already know the answer to that, of course he's not. But he's okay. But enough about his character in CGI. We'll save that for the eventual retrospective video. But back onto his voice, Matt Wilkinson gave Diesel 10 a very sly and snake-like performance. I think it matches really well with what he's trying to do in Day of the Diesels.
Hello, Percy. Diesel said you might come to visit. That's good, Percy. Very good indeed. No, don't. And we won't. Out of my way, you silly Stevie.
I also like how he can get very snappy and loud with his performance of Diesel 10. Still shows the audience that you don't want to fuck with him.
We need a new crane instead of old Happy Hook here. Quiet! But what about Thomas? Have you asked him to speak to Sir Topham Hatt?
Although I do feel like he can get a little annoying and exaggerated at some points, especially this scene. This one always comes to mind. Like, why do you sound like that?
Please move that garbage.
Now, moving on to how he is in his only episode appearance, I have a few problems. He's just really whiny and stupid, and I hate him, and I want to burn him. Oh, wait, I already did that. I could always just take him on an adventure. A problem that some of the voices in CGI had is that the voices wouldn't really match up with the character's face, if that makes sense. Kind of like how Ben Smallwood Thomas was for me. But with Diesel 10, I wouldn't really imagine anyone else voicing this version of him. Except for one other guy, but we'll get to him later. I think the voice matches up with the face quite well. Surprisingly, Matt Wilkinson did a pretty good job as Diesel 10. This is where things might get decisive between people, but as leader of the Diesel 10 Nation, I have the factually correct opinions here, so, you know. I have seen every single opinion about this voice of Diesel 10. When Cardi and Joseph showed off the Russian Diesel 10 voice for the first time, I was kind of mixed on it.
How to stop being stupid? Oh, that's going to ruin my facial.
I mean, you had people saying it was great, but you also had people saying it was bad, it didn't fit Diesel 10, and you also had people like me who are in the middle on it. I like it, and I think it's fun, but there's just something stopping me from flat out liking it. Let's give a brief history lesson on this voice, shall we? So Neil Crone and Kevin Frank auditioned for the roles of the troublesome trucks in Magic Railroad, and when they were recording lines for the trucks, there was a break-in recording, and on the screen in the studio showed Diesel 10. Neil Crone decided for shits and giggles to give him a goofy, gruff Russian accent, and didn't even realize that his mic was on. Britt, who was on the other side directing their voices, hit the talkback button and told Crone to say the line again.
She had me do the voice of Diesel 10, and it was great because we recorded that and it seemed to fit perfectly, and they loved it. And they loved what Kevin and I were doing, to the point where the producers put Kevin and I in a room and they had us punch the script up and sort of try to make the script a little funnier.
So he did the entire movie in the Russian voice, and once the print of the film went to Los Angeles, some people thought that the accent would be considered offensive, so Crone gave Diesel 10 a goofy New Jersey accent that we hear in the final film. But to the actual Russian voice, what do I think of it? I mean, it's fine, I guess. There's just one thing I really don't like about it. It's the delivery. I think the accent itself is fine and hilarious, but the way Crone delivered some of these lines kind of ruins the suspense in some scenes.
Hello, Twinkle Toes. I got a plan, and you're not in it.
Like, the shed interrogation scene in the final film is so good because it's the first time in the movie that we see Diesel 10 be a genuine threat. His other scenes right before this show Thomas and James thinking of him as just a simple annoyance, and Splatter and Dodge laughing at Pinchy slamming down onto his roof. This is the first scene in the movie where the audience understands that Diesel 10 shouldn't be joked with. He's goofy, yeah, and you can tell he's enjoying the hell out of what he's doing, but you can also see that he means business. That's why everyone loves the New Jersey accent so much, is because it's the perfect mix of goofy and threatening. This Russian voice is just all of the goofiness dialed up to 11, especially with some of these line deliveries.
Losing your sparkle, eh? With perfect timing. Nice working on your railway. Oh, you live long day. Yeah, who wants to work and live long day?
He either sounds too bored or too energetic for a scene. Now, I might not be the biggest Russian Diesel 10 fan. I think I know who is, though. But that's not to say that all of it is bad. I don't even think it's bad at all. It's just either too much or too little. Whenever we get more scenes, I'm praying that he sounds a little better, because as it stands right now, I don't think he's all that. Overall, not bad, but he could be so much better because the idea of a Russian Diesel 10 sounds hilarious. It's just not that good in execution. Coming up next is Michael Brandon. The main problem I had with Angelus's voice for Diesel 10 was that he sounded just really bored. Michael Brandon is the exact opposite to this. This has to be the most gruff-sounding Diesel 10 voice out there.
What do you want? Snapped Diesel 10. Why would I help a steamy? All right, snarled Diesel 10. I will help.
Brandon puts a lot of emotion into his performance. A problem that comes up with Michael Brandon a lot is that a bunch of his voices he chooses for the characters can be really annoying or just don't fit the character at all. But I don't get that from his version of Diesel 10. I think it's great. His performance shows a lot of that grumpy, snappy side that the marketing for this movie showed. I mean, that's honestly all I really have to say on Brandon's performance. Overall, a really good voice for Diesel 10. Keith Scott's interesting because I really wish we got to hear more of him in the leaked work print. I mean, we are going to be hearing more of him whenever that director's cut comes out, but finally getting to properly hear that voice for the first time in 2020 was certainly weird. Keith Scott got the role of Diesel 10 because while he was doing work for the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, according to him,
the girls who were on the casting of that movie recommended me to Britt Allcroft because she was in Hollywood at the time looking for a voice for Diesel and a couple of other things. So I went and auditioned, and she was mentioning like she wanted a voice like Orson Welles or some distinctive villain voice. And I just tried a couple of things, and then I thought, well, you know, either I'll hear from him or I won't.
Once Scott auditioned, within a week they had already scheduled him a flight to Toronto, Canada to record his lines. He went there, recorded his lines, and even got to go to the studio to see the models, which is where this beautiful picture was taken. Almost a week later, Scott gets a call saying that they wanted to change the voice of Diesel 10, saying that he sounded too scary for kids. So he was replaced with, we'll get to him. I said in my original video that the voice doesn't really sound much like how Diesel 10 could sound, but honestly, I love Keith's portrayal of Diesel 10 now. He gives Diesel 10 a very smooth and cunning voice that is just, oh, it's so good.
Losing your sparkle, eh? What perfect timing. Destroy! It's time to finally put Twinkle Toes lights out. This is a job for the boss.
If Neil Crone was never on the Magic Road team at all and we just had Keith Scott as Diesel 10, I would have been perfectly fine with that because he is just great. Overall, Keith did a good job as Diesel 10 for the 2 days he was there before getting cut, and I can't wait to hear more of him whenever that director's cut releases. Moving into third place is Rupert Degas. Rupert Degas was signed on to do Diesel 10's grand return to the show in Misty Island Rescue. An interview with him in SIF states that he voiced Diesel 10 for about a week and already had the lines recorded, until some people said that they thought his voice was too scary, too camp, and too theatrical. Afterwards, he was put off, and since he doesn't show up in Day of the Diesels, we only have one scene at our disposal. Also know that one line in Day of the Diesels could not possibly be Rupert Degas. I don't know where that rumor came from.
You'll be laughing on the other side of your boilers soon, silly steez.
This voice would have been perfect for CGI Diesel 10. It gives us a look at what could have been for Day of the Diesels. I can kind of see where people were coming from with it being too theatrical, but like, wouldn't you want it to sound good? Even though he was removed from the cast, they still used his laugh for the final cuts, so what happened here? Overall, Rupert Degas, much like Keith Scott, did a great job as Diesel 10. It just sucks they never kept them on for Day of the Diesels. I cannot stress this enough. Picking the last two here was a really big challenge. But ever since Cardi dropped that video showcasing the Benedict Campbell as Diesel 10, it's just been really hard to pinpoint the best voice. I mean, this is Benedict Campbell. This is the King K. Rool voicing a Thomas character. Do you know how insane that is? When I first saw this clip drop, I was just staring at my ceiling for a good 30 minutes because this voice is so good, dude. It's so good. I wasn't even expecting it to be that good. I didn't even know it was Benedict Campbell. In my original video, I said that Keith Scott did the one in the leaked chase, but no, it was always Benedict Campbell.
Help you? You will always need help. Because steam engines are cowardly, cranky, worn-out hunks of metal who couldn't hurt a fly. When I'm done with my plan, she'll be nothing but useless scrap.
Splodge! Get up here and destroy! Puffball! Teapot! Tin kettle!
Campbell gives Diesel 10 this very smooth yet pretty aggressive voice that just fits his face perfectly. Before I even looked into Magic Railroad's production as a kid, and I had only ever seen the leaked chase from 2009, this was the voice of Diesel 10 that was heard. Everyone thought this was Keith Scott when it came out. I remember everyone thinking that back then. Now knowing that Diesel 10 was going to be way less goofy and way more evil and cunning in the original scripts, I cannot wait to hear more of this voice playing with that version of the character. I really don't know what else to say because we've gotten so little on him, but I mean, dude, this voice is perfect. but I don't think he can take the #1 spot. Coming in at first place to absolutely nobody's surprise is Neil Crone's New Jersey accent for Diesel 10. I don't ever think this voice will be replaced, as I think almost everyone can agree that this is the definitive voice for Diesel 10.
I'm gonna destroy her and dominate you, and then you'll be nothing but useless scrap. Right, Pinchy? I can do whatever I want. I'll get him, too, with Pinchy. I've been working on the railway all the livelong day. Yeah, who wants to work a livelong day?
Like I said earlier when talking about the Russian voice, the New Jersey accent is the perfect mix of an absolute idiot and a heavy metal monster. Crone gets so playful into the role in certain scenes, like the Smelters scene with James.
So you've lost your sparkle too, huh? Yeah. Here we go.
Junior, what are we gonna do?
We'll think you something.
You can tell that Diesel 10 takes pride in playing with his victims. One other great thing given to this character is that laugh. I know many people, and very much so me, have already said these things before, but it's just so hard not to love this version of Diesel 10. Crone is the reason why Diesel 10 is so popular. It's not even just in design with him being a very marketable character with, you know, being a train with a giant claw. It's the voice, and it's always a joy to sit through when he appears on screen. Also, not to mention the fact that he's, like, hilarious too in the movie, like, come on. Overall, the New Jersey accent given to Diesel 10 is so iconic, and even if he scared a bunch of 6-year-olds in 2000, he definitely left a mark on the movie as being the best thing to come out of it, period. So yeah, that's basically gonna be it for this video. I had a blast writing this, and I cannot wait to see that director's cut Cardi and Joseph are working so hard to get done. I recommend supporting them by following their socials and donating to the website. Link is in the description. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Make sure to like and subscribe as it helps out the channel a bunch.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get paid now, so you guys should like totally watch more of my stuff. That way I can make my money, cause I like making money, you know, money.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. I love Benedict Campbell Diesel 10 so much. Oh!